We begin with breaking news out of Texas. The conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been ordered to pay Sandy Hook parents an additional $45.2 million in punitive damage over claims the shooting was a hoax. This past week, Jones plowed through the first of several trials against him loudly, aggressively, and all the while talking about conspiracies both in and out of the courtroom. The punitive damages are in addition to the more than $4 million he's already been ordered to pay, but it's still significantly less than the $150 million being sought by the parents. The compensatory damages by the parents of a 6-year-old boy killed in the Sandy Hook massacre, marking the first time that the InfoWars host has been held financially liable for repeatedly claiming the second deadliest school shooting in U.S. history was a hoax. Reporter Jamal Andres with our sister network Newsy has more on this verdict.
I think Sandy Hook happened.
A Texas jury has just awarded a $4.1 million financial judgment against conspiracy theorist and provocateur Alex Jones. The Texas-based radio and TV host is facing a defamation lawsuit from the parents of Jesse Lewis, a 6-year-old killed in the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre nearly a decade ago.
My son existed.
Jesse's parents, Scarlett Lewis and Neil Heslin, claim they have been harassed, threatened, and even shot at because of conspiracy theories broadcasted and popularized by Alex Jones.
I can't even describe the last 9.5 years of the living hell that I and others have had to endure because of the negligence and the recklessness of Alex Jones.
Jones called the tragedy a hoax on his radio show and called the parents who lost children in Newtown crisis actors.
I have said before that there have been so many lies and so many things in the past, and I was under a lot of pressure. And I truly, when I said those statements, when I say something, I mean it, that I really could believe that it was totally staged at that point.
During the trial, Lewis was able to, for the first time, speak to Jones in open court face-to-face.
Truth is so vital to our world. Truth is what we base our reality on.
While Jones was on the stand, he faced grueling cross-examination from the lawyers of the parents, in which his testimony was often contradicted by his own broadcasts. Jones was even confronted by the opposing attorney with his text messages, mistakenly passed along by his own attorney to the opposing side.
12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years. You know what perjury is, right? I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
The phone data has now been requested by the January 6th committee as a part of its ongoing investigation. One of the attorneys representing Lewis and Heslin says he plans to turn over the 2 years of messages and data from Alex Jones' phone to the committee.
There very well may be on that phone, and I fully expect there to be information and messages that are newsworthy, that relate to the public good, that the public has a right to know about.
Aside from his trial here in Austin, Jones faces another defamation lawsuit in Connecticut from multiple families who lost children in Sandy Hook. Jamal Andres, Newsy, Austin, Texas.
So the total amount ordered by this jury is $49 million. We want to talk about his time testifying because Jones's time on the stand was contentious. As Jamal mentioned, the judge had to remind him more than once to tell the truth on the stand.
It seems absurd to instruct you again that you must tell the truth while you testify, yet here I am. You must tell the truth while you testify. This is not your show.
Much of Jones's testimony focused on shifting the blame for his controversial comments.
I actually feel good because I get a chance to, for the first time, say what's really going on instead of the corporate media and high-powered law firms manipulating what I actually did. The people have said that I'm personally trying to hurt them or coming after them when I question every big event, and a lot of times it turns out that we've not been told the truth. It's 100% real, as I said on the radio yesterday, and as I said here yesterday. It's 100% real, and the media still ran with lies that I was saying it wasn't real on air yesterday. It's incredible. They won't let me take it back. They just want to keep me in the position of being the Sandy Hook man. I think Sandy Hook happened, and I think it's a terrible event, and I think we need to protect our children from mentally ill psychopaths.
At today's hearing, the parents' attorney Mark Bankston had this to say.
We ask that you send a very, very simple message. And that is, stop Alex Jones, stop the monetization of misinformation and lies.
Joining me now, appellate and trial attorney Matthew Barhoma and Deputy Public Defender for LA County, Philip Dubé. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us this evening. Let's talk about the verdict. First of all, Philip, are you surprised by the total between the punitive and compensatory damages in this case awarded?
No, not in the least, because to be perfectly honest with you, I think the jury was holding back their desire to punish and deter him. Remember, the damages phase is literally based on what they felt these people suffered in terms of economic and non-economic losses. The lion's share of the claim brought by the plaintiffs is rooted in deterrence. Now, make no mistake about it, this award is going to get knocked down. There is tort reform in the state of Texas for punitive damages. I believe they're capped. Don't quote me, at $750,000. But this, at a minimum, is clearly a life lesson, a symbolic victory for the plaintiffs, and a warning and a deterrent for these radical iconoclasts like Alex Jones to do this to people who are victims of mass shootings.
And Matthew, he was difficult on the stand. And in fact, the plaintiffs had requested $150 million. They have only been awarded the 49. We know they're not going to see that, to Philip's point. But Matthew, do you think that it is a deterrent, that it might at all affect behaviors by an Alex Jones?
Absolutely. That's exactly what this sends. This sends a message that if you talk reckless and you continue to speak, knowingly that you're false, and you propel that, and it ends up in culminating in something like this, we're going to deter against that. And the punitive damages are intended literally for deterrence, literally to punish, okay, to stop that kind of conduct. So while, the jury did hand out something in compensatory, I think the punitives are really to send a message out there to stop this kind of conduct.
And one of the things I wonder is, do you think this jury was able to look through the behaviors of the defendant on the stand and really consider the facts of the case in reaching this conclusion? So let's listen together, because there's a real back and forth between the attorney and Alex Jones during testimony about some of the text messages. Let's watch this together.
So you did get my text messages. They said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones. Oh. Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text message anymore. Did you know that?
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone, and then...
Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I told you I gave him the phone over. Just
answer the question.
You said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text, did the search function for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah. Well, of course. That's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not why I got it.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones, please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bankston also only asks questions.
Sure. Mr. Jones, in discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
If I was mistaken, I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there.
You know what perjury is, right? I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I'm not a tech guy. I told you I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before, whatever, and so you've got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones, one more time. And please remember, if you need to assert the Fifth Amendment, you can. I need to know that you can do that. But you testified under oath previously that you personally searched your phone for the phrase Sandy Hook, and there were no messages. You said that under oath.
Yes.
And you lied when you said it.
No, I did not lie.
And gentlemen, that's just a small aspect of the contentious nature of Alex Jones while he's on the stand. Maybe not surprising to any who have ever listened to his show, but is that kind of behavior something that the jury can't ignore and might influence or affect the decision that they come to? Let me start with you, Matthew.
You know, I think that the jury definitely took that back with them. Okay, that was a bad day in court. But I think that that actually probably influenced the judge even more than the jury, because it's blatant bad faith. And, you know, it's a reckless disregard for, you know, the decorum of our jurisprudence. So I think it sat with everyone in the room, if I'm being honest.
And then a lot of people watch this, Philip, and they ask the question on social media, what's going to happen to him next? The judge called him out for lying more than once, more than twice. Is there going to be any resulting perjury charge? What's your opinion?
Oh, I seriously doubt it. To be fair, and I genuinely mean this, those text messages were in part attorney-client privileged. And I don't believe that opposing counsel can seize on the benefit of erroneously receiving attorney-client privileged text messages that were exchanged between a client and his or her lawyer. You know, this is the type of situation where they should have gotten a special master or gone into chambers and had the judge make a ruling before, you know, she shellacked Mr. Jones in open court, for lack of a better term, and decided first and foremost whether or not some of those texts may have been privileged. Because keep in mind, Alex Jones is the holder of that privilege, not his lawyer. His lawyer cannot unilaterally just waive that privilege for him on his behalf without his consent. And he probably thought whatever he was turning over was discoverable. He should have been advised that what he had was in fact privileged.
All right, let's talk about one other thing he said during his testimony. Alex Jones said any award over $2 million would sink us. Well, we have an award way over $2 million. Is this going to sink them? Philip, you first.
Oh, not even close. Are you kidding? He's worth so much money. I'm not going to call it small potatoes or chump change, but it is a sizable amount when you compare it to his net worth, which is a factor in calculating his damages. What did they determine that his net worth was? Something like $260 million or whatever it was. So it is a sizable percentage of his estate, but this is precisely what the point of punitive damages is, and that is to deter and to punish and make him feel the sting of his not-so-free speech.
And Matthew, and you know, that's what he keeps saying. He had a piece of tape over his mouth, First Amendment. Well, we know the First Amendment, Matthew, is free speech, freedom of speech, but not when you are using it in a way that is defamatory and hurting someone. And so that's the reality, the outcome of this trial. Do you think that he's going to appeal this?
I would. I certainly would. I would ask for all kinds of remediator. I would try to bring down on every aspect of the damages. You know, I think he can't afford not to tell you the very truth. Now, he also has other legal issues that are looming. There are other defamation cases. So he's got a long road to litigate ahead of him.
All right, gentlemen, you're going to stay with us. Thank you for